look, everybody. Johnny Depp's in this episode. No, he's not. Hey there, hi there, ho there, Andrew here, reviewing, recapping, and reacting to episode 12 of season 6, The Walking Dead, on an episode called Not Tomorrow Yet. We start off the episode by seeing what Carol does to make cookies, and when she says she puts blood, sweat, and tears into her cookies, believe her, it's quite disgusting how she makes them. And, of course, she hands out all these cookies to the community. No cookie for Sam. But she does end up at Tobin's place where they get a chance to flirt with each other, and I have to say, I prefer the Tobin-Carol relationship much more than the fandom's Carol-Daryl relationship. It just seems a lot more natural. Rick and crew arrive back from Hilltop, and Morgan questions Carol why she didn't say anything about the lone wolf to the rest of the community. She basically dodges the question, leaves, and then drops a cookie off at Sam's grave. And now I feel a little sad for laughing at Sam. No, I don't. I don't feel sorry at all. Actually, I think we all know what he would look like if he did grow up. While at the church, Rick tells everybody what the deal with Hilltop is all about and how they have to take out this evil dictator called Negan, and they have to do a preemptive strike because supposedly he has a lot of weapons and he could pose a threat to them. So, Rick is calling his plan Operation Iraqi Freedom. No, he's not. Morgan urges Rick to go ahead and use diplomacy instead. You know, the whole speak softly and carry a big stick. And that makes a lot of sense coming from the guy that mumbles to himself and uses a bow stick for a weapon. But nobody agrees with Morgan, and they're pretty much silent on Rick's decision, so Rick wins the debate. The next scene is later on that evening where Carol is looking into her book, and it's a kill list of all the people that she has killed so far, and it is now 18. That apparently makes her feel very uncomfortable, and I'm starting to think that Morgan might be getting to her. Then the next shot is Glenn and Maggie talking to each other about going to the attack, and Maggie says that she will stand on the perimeter. We then see Carol walking at night because she can't sleep, and she ends up at Tobin's front porch, where he is, and they talk, and then they kiss. Woo! Now Tobin's dead. While Abraham is packing his bag, he questions why dingleberries are brown and then tells Rosita that he is leaving her, and he doesn't do it just by "I'm leaving you." He tells her, "When I met you, I thought you were the last woman on earth. You're not." Dang, dude, that's like what I said in the previous recap. I didn't think you were going to quote me or anything, but I do have to say, I love that Eugene is wearing a Virginia is for Lovers t-shirt after they break up. Moving on, Tara is no doubt having flashbacks of how she helped the governor go ahead and attack the prison, but she leaves all those thoughts to herself and tells her secret girlfriend Denise that she loves her, and then they kiss. Andy from Hilltop goes ahead and draws some maps for the attack. Rick comes up with a plan on how they're going to use a walker's head that looks like Gregory's head so they can go ahead straight through the front doors instead. And before they attack, Rick goes ahead and asks Father Gabriel why he is still wearing his priestly garb, and Gabriel replies back that it's basically still who he was, and then jokingly says it'll be harder for them to see him in the dark. I gotta say, I do like Gabriel more and more. We see Rosita voice dissent about Morgan to Carol, and then Carol defends Morgan, which makes me think, once again, she is moving a little bit closer to Morgan's viewpoint. Carol says to Rick she's going to stay in the back at the perimeter to watch over Maggie because she doesn't think Maggie should be on the mission to begin with. The plan goes on, and we see Andy take a freshly decapitated, busted up walker head that looks like Gregory to the front door of Negan's outpost. Is giving head some type of good gesture in the apocalypse? After getting Craig back, Rick and crew go ahead and kill the guards, and Andy drives Craig back over to Hilltop, and then the action happens. Out of all the killing that has gone on, I feel most for Glenn here because he's never killed a living person before on this show. But in this episode, he does take out 2 guards right away while they're sleeping in their beds, and then he notices a bunch of Polaroids that are on the wall that look like a whole bunch of people's heads that were bashed in, possibly with a baseball bat, possibly wrapped in barbed wire. During their fight with Negan's gang, Abraham and Sasha accidentally let a guard trip the alarm, which makes things get super violent, and the alarm goes off where Carol and Maggie can hear it, so Carol tells Maggie to stay put, and Glenn and Heath are pinned down in the armory, which gives them a huge advantage because, hey, that's where all the weapons are, and they basically mow down everybody except for one guy who almost gets the drop on him, but Jesus shows up and shoots the guy, and I guess that really does mean Jesus saves. Sort of. But the best scene of the whole fight goes to Father Gabriel, who recites John chapter 14, verse 2 of the Bible before shooting down a savior. So after it's all said and done, Rick and crew go ahead and exit the building, and it is now daytime, and it looks like that they're on the parking lot side of things, because we see Heath and Tara, I believe, take one of those cars on their scavenging mission, and then we get a cut back to Alexandria, where we see Morgan is welding together what might be a prison. Could very well be like what Eastman had. We then get a shot of a savior trying to escape the compound on a motorcycle, and Daryl realizes that it is his old bike. The biker gets shot, Daryl tackles him, and while Daryl and Rick are trying to question the biker, a woman's voice comes over the biker's walkie-talkie, and she says matter-of-factly that they have Carol and Maggie. Now, this episode leaves a lot of questions for me, and the most important one is, where were all the walkers? There were shots being fired, and an alarm that went off where Maggie and Carol could hear from the perimeter. It was dark in the beginning, and it was light when they came out, and that means that a 4-mile radius of walkers should have shown up eventually. Also, we do see some character development with Abraham and some with Carol, so I don't think that they're going to die anytime soon, so that makes me ask, who's going to die next? If you liked the video, tap the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe so you get notified the moment I upload, and I will see you in the next video.